Okay, so wait. I need to pause this, pause that. Hello, good evening. Thank you for catching the scope. My name is TremaineRaisa. I am a vision strategist for Kingdom women who want to bring the big vision that God gave them for their life to being, basically. And tonight I want to talk to you guys about the 10 ways that lack of confidence is killing your business, whether you are a Kingdom woman or not. These things, they go straight across the board. Hello, welcome to the scope. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. We're just going to give it another couple of minutes while I sort of kind of pull up stuff that I sort of should have had up already. But okay, I have the workbook. If you guys do not already have your workbook, you want to go to bit.ly/scopinars, like webinar but with scope. That's SCOPINARS. The link is in this title, the title of this scope. Yeah, but you want to go there and you can sign up and you will get your workbook like almost immediately. So yeah, if you don't already have your workbook, you can sign up for it, get it real quick, and we're gonna get started like real soon. So I have my copy of the workbook, I have my notes, I have my workbook. Do I need to have this open? No. Do I need these ones? Do I? Hello. Okay, close that. And that is what I want. Awesome sauce. Okay, so hello, how are you doing? Again, thank you guys so much for showing up to the scope. My name is TremaineRaisa, and we're going to have fun. Okay, so who am I? I am a kind of crazy Bahamian brown girl. I love chocolate, and I've been dealing with branding and graphic design for like almost 10 years on and off for different areas. Yeah, but I have been in business for almost like 6 years as a branding coach, but recently I switched to deal specifically with helping Kingdom women to build their big visions, and that is something that I'm really passionate about. Like I get really happy, okay, really happy. But yeah, that is who I am. So this, I was missing something. So this webinar, this scope is going to be particularly useful for women who are like I said, you're female entrepreneurs, like you're in business, either you're just starting or you've been in business for a while, and you kind of feel like a fraud in your business, like you're not necessarily being like really you. So if you're suffering from like imposter syndrome, or if you feel as though you constantly have to censor yourself in order to sound a certain way, or if you constantly have to put on a certain kind of persona, this is going to be particularly useful to you, okay? By the end of the scope, you're going to be able to identify those areas that you may not necessarily be as confident as you think you are in, and know how to stop devaluing yourself and your expertise. You know, you got to read this stuff. Yeah, so in addition to the 10 ways that lack of confidence is killing your business, we're going to cover why second guessing and not releasing content is going to hurt your brand or is hurting your brand, why pretending to be somebody else and devaluing your expertise or devaluing yourself basically is toxic. Like, why is that toxic behavior? We're also going to want to get into why consuming all the content is like a safety mechanism. And the last one, the real reason why you can't pick a target audience, like the real reason. Yeah, so we're going to get started like now. So before we do anything else, I want you guys to swipe left. I think it's left if you're on Apple and up if you're on Android, and share this out. Okay, so share this out, and then we're gonna get started like right now. So first things first. My mouse moved. Okay, so the ways that lack of confidence tends to show up in your business. So number one, it tends to make you pretend to be somebody else, basically. That's pretty straightforward, but we're going to break down into why does it show up? Like, why do we feel as though we have to pretend to be somebody else? I'm going to give you a couple of reasons, right? So you can write this down in your workbook. And the workbook is fillable, which is awesome. So you can, if you don't have it printed out, you can type into it. That is the word I wanted to say. You can type into it. So number one, you don't feel as though who you are is enough. That can be good enough, sharp enough, strong enough, polished enough, any kind of enough. Like, you, for whatever reason, you just don't feel as though who you are in your like real authentic self is enough. You think that you have to be somebody else to be in business. Like, you don't think the kind of person that you are is the kind of person who should be in business. And you think you have to be like uber professional. Like, I'm a professional lady and I'm in business. And this is how uber professional women speak when they are in business. And if you do not speak as though you are uber professional and in business, then you should not be in business. Like, we have that misconception that you have to be like uber professional. Like, when you're in business, like, business is like business, like professionalism. And we feel as though we're not allowed to be ourselves, and so we have to put on this other persona. Okay, also, the last reason, and this is really like the core of all the other reasons, like, you're not clear on who you are, you're not clear on the value you provide to your audience, you're not clear on your purpose, and you're not clear on who your audience is. Like, you're not clear on who it is that you're actually supposed to impact, right? So those are the reasons that I've come up with that are like why you would choose to, or why you would end up pretending to be somebody else in your business. So how does it feel? It feels stressed. So you feel stressed out all the time because you always have to put on this persona and you always have to keep it up. Like, you have to keep it up every time you're in front of a camera, every time you're on social media, every time you're speaking to a client, like every time, like it's always something that you have to keep up. You also feel like a fraud and you feel sleazy because you know after a while, even if you don't realize it at first, after a while you know that you're pretending to be somebody that you're not. You know that, and it doesn't feel good. It just does not feel good. And the last reason, or at least the last how it feels, I guess, is frustrated. Like, underneath the sleaziness and underneath the stress is just like you're just genuinely frustrated because you feel as though, like, you know, somewhere down in the pit of your stomach that you know that you should be able to be yourself in your business. Like, this should not be happening. This pretending to be somebody else, that should not be happening. It just should not be. And so because you know that and you're not doing it, like, underneath all of that other stuff is just like frustration, and like you're all like frustration, and it adds to the feeling bad about yourself, or at least bad about the situation, and it adds to feeling stressed out, and then you feel like you're like, yeah. That. Okay, so that is how it feels. So let me tell you a bit about what it looks like, all right? What does it look like? It looks like, one, using the popular or trending fonts or sayings and this, that, and the other thing because they're in and everybody's using them and everybody seems to be successful with them. So if I want to be successful, I need to use them too. So that's what it looks like. It also looks like you're trying to create the same kinds of content as everybody else, especially those people in your space who are already successful. Like, you're not necessarily trying to do one better, but you're literally just like trying to do the same kinds of content, the same kinds of posts, the same kinds of social media graphics and everything else, because that stuff has been proven to work. At least it works for them. So it's like, why shouldn't that work for me? Right? And it also looks like you spend time designing your website to look like everybody else's because what everybody else's seems to work for them. So I need what they are doing. I need that stuff to work for me. I need that to work for me. So I'm going to follow what they're doing. All right? So, yeah. So the second way that lack of confidence shows up in your business is you're second guessing yourself. You're second guessing yourself like all the time. And it's like you make a decision and you say that you're going to make the decision, or at least you say you're going to do something, and then you have like these thoughts like, should I really do that? Or does that really make sense? Like, is that really going to like get me the results that I want? Like, should I do that? I don't know if I should do that. I think I'm going to do something else. And then you make that decision, and then you second guess that decision. So it's like, you're never settling on a decision because you second guess everything, right? So why do we second guess ourselves? Why? I don't know about you, but when I was second guessing myself, like, it was hella frustrating. Like, hella frustrating, okay? Hella. But yeah, why do we second guess ourselves? Okay, so I got a couple of reasons for you. You can take these down. Number one is because you're not clear on who you are. You are not clear on who you are, and you're not clear on what you're supposed to be doing. Number two is you're not clear on the value you give others. You're not clear on the value that you provide to others. Like, you're not clear on how exactly you're supposed to be helping them and impacting them and changing their lives. Like, you're not clear on that stuff. And because you're not clear on yourself, on that stuff, you just second guess. You like second guess yourself all over the place. Like, all over the place. Okay? So, where were we? Okay, what does it feel like? So what does second guessing yourself feel like internally, like inside, on the inside? It feels like you're spinning your wheels, and you're like always busy, and you always have stuff to do, and you're maybe even a little bit stressed out with the amount of stuff that you have to do. But at the end of the day, like, nothing really gets done. Like, nothing really gets done. It also feels as though like you're not really doing anything. Like, you're doing everything, but you don't feel like you're doing anything. In addition to nothing ever getting done. Like, it's just like, didn't I spend an hour doing a graphic or something? So why can't I use the graphic? Oh, it doesn't have anything really sensible on it. Oh, okay, so I need to do that over. Yeah, it's like nothing ever gets done. And it also looks like consuming other people's content in your niche, just not necessarily because you need it, or if you're not, or that because you're researching for like something that you're doing, but literally you're just consuming all the content and signing up for all the stuff that they're doing because you want to see what they're doing, so you can see what you need to do or how you need to do it. Like, you just need to see. I just need to see. I'm going to sign up for this webinar because I just need to see how she's going to set up her content, like how she outlines it and how she lays out the content and how she speaks to her audience. I just need to see what she's doing so I can do it. Like, that's what it is. Okay, so what does that look like? What does that look like in your like day-to-day activities in your business? It looks like you always have one eye on what everybody else is doing. So in addition to you like having all this busy work to do, you also always have one eye on like what everybody else is putting out there, so you can see like what I need to sign up for, because it falls sort of kind of in the category of what I'm doing here. So I need to know what they're coming out with so that I can sign up for them, just so I can see what's going on. It also looks like you never really launch anything. Like, you have all these plans, maybe you even complete a couple of things, but you never really launch them. Or if you launch them, then you don't really have any promotion. And that's for a variety of reasons, but for all of them or any of them, like for whatever reason it is, that you either don't launch anything, no products, no service, no course, no workshop, no nothing. Or if you launch them, you don't really have any promotions for them. Okay? And it also looks like you subconsciously end up copying other people because you consume so much content, and you're not necessarily doing any actual work with them. When you do create stuff, it tends to sound and feel and look like stuff that other people have already done. So you end up subconsciously copying other people, right? So that is what second guessing yourself looks like in day-to-day activities, because when you create something, you're like, I don't know if I should do this. What did she do? Okay, so she did that, so I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna like tweak it. So even though it may not be like an exact copy, it looks a whole lot like the other stuff, and it sounds a whole lot like everybody else's things, and it may even feel a whole lot like everybody else's things. All right, so that is what second guessing yourself looks like. That's what it looks like in day-to-day. That's what it looked like. That's what it feels like. And a confession. I did this a couple of times. Like, even the last time I launched as a branding consultant, like, even though I loved my target audience, which was women in business with shoestring budgets, even though I loved my target audience, I did. But for whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, but I was so concerned with providing everything for them that they could possibly need. I ended up branching out of my branding sphere and into like other things that other people were doing, and I was trying to like create things for them, and that is actually not what I was supposed to be doing. And so what happened was I ended up second guessing myself and all the things that I had to create, and even the things in my own niche branding. It was just like, should I really be doing this? Should I maybe be doing something else? Maybe I should have this workshop next month, because this person is having a workshop this month, and this is really what they're supposed to be doing. This is really their niche, so I think I'm not going to do this. Hello! Yeah, so it's just a lot of second guessing. It was just a lot of second guessing, and that is what happens when you like, when you have a lack of confidence in your business. So I am going to, I was supposed to do it earlier, but yeah, so we're going to get into... Thank you for the hearts, whoever that is. I have to see who that is who came in. Wait. There we go. Oh, it's LaShonda. Hey, LaShonda. How you doing? So I was in the middle. What did I say? Number 3. Okay, so the third reason that, or the third way, sorry, where are my notes? The third way that lack of confidence shows up in your business is you end up sort of kind of doing what everybody else is doing. Like, you end up doing what a lot of other people are doing. And it shows up in and that can be in your social media graphics, that can be in the courses that you create, that can be in your blog posts, that can be literally in everything, like everything. And I'll tell you like why we do it, right? So, one of the reasons is, number 1, it seems to be working for them, right? So if it works for them, shouldn't it work for me? Yeah? No? I think it's going to work for me. I think it's going to work for me. So they're doing that. So I'm going to do that too. So that's reason number 1. Like, because it's working for them, we sort of kind of think that it's going to work for us if we just do the same thing that they're doing. The second reason is because you tend to be the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, and that includes their content. So if you are spending a whole lot of time with other people's content, and you're always reading their blog posts, and you're always spending time on the social media platforms, and you're like looking at their stuff all the time, and you're consuming their stuff all the time, sooner or later when you sit down to create stuff, if you have not taken like precautions, or if you don't get yourself into that space where you're creating your own things, subconsciously you end up doing what everybody else is doing. That's just how it works. And then also, we also do it because of lack of clarity, just a complete lack of clarity, where we're not clear on who we are as a person. We're not clear on the value that we would bring to our audience. We're not even actually sure who that audience is. And all of this lack of clarity, it just shows up in lack of confidence. And then we just end up doing what everybody else is doing because I want to be successful. This seems to be working for them. They're successful, so maybe I should be doing what they're doing. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, so that is why we do it. So now I'm going to tell you guys what it feels like a little bit, right? It feels like you're constantly flustered and you're constantly trying to keep up with all of the things that all of the people are doing. Like you always have like this running tab of workshops or webinars or periscopes or something you need to watch because everybody else is doing things and you just have to see what they're doing so you know what to do. Kind of like, I just need to see. I'm not going to copy their stuff. I just need to see. All right. So you're constantly flustered because there's always something else to consume, basically. There's always something else to watch, always something else to read. And because of that, you always feel like you're kind of behind the 8 ball and everybody else is so far ahead of you because you're always stuck in consuming, basically. And after that, because of that, you also feel frustrated because and this is funny for me, you kind of feel like everybody else who's doing the stuff, who's out there doing things, like you kind of feel like they've stolen all the clients, like they've stolen all the customers. And I just need you to calm down with all the stuff that you're creating and all the webinars and all the workshops and stuff. I just need you to calm down so I can get some clients, okay? That's what I need you to do, like that kind of way. So yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. And what it shows up as in your day-to-day life is, I already said it, like consuming a lot of content. Consuming a ton of content from maybe not a ton of people, or maybe it is a ton of people, that you're just consuming stuff all the time. Creating copycat products and events, but like with your spin on it. Like they're doing this, like they're doing branding, but they're not doing branding for cats. So I'm gonna do branding for cats, and I'm just gonna cat it up. Like that's what I'm gonna do. Like they're doing a workshop on images. I'm gonna do a workshop on images for cats. Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do the exact same thing, but I'm kind of gonna put my spin on it, so it's not the same thing. It's just not. It also looks like you end up creating the same kinds of marketing and social media content. Like everybody's using quotes, so I'm gonna use quotes because quotes work. Okay, quotes give you hearts on Instagram, quotes give you like tweets and retweets and all that stuff. So quotes work. I'm gonna do quotes. Everybody's doing song lyrics this month, so I think I'm gonna do song lyrics. I'm gonna find myself some songs. I'm gonna do those things. Like that's what I'm gonna do, right? Because it's working for everybody else, so I need it to work for me. And it also looks like whatever you do, like you never stand out from everybody else because you're doing what everybody else is doing. So you never stand out from everybody else or from anybody else. So you never stand out from the crowd. And because you never stand out from the crowd, you don't really get the traction that you would. Like your customers can't really find you because you're like lost in the swarm of what everybody else is doing. And it sucks. It does. You don't have to say it. It does. So I hope you guys are taking notes in your workbook. And if you're watching this so far and you have not gotten your workbook, you can get your workbook at, I thought I wrote it down, but bit.ly/ScopeNR, or at the link in this. Yeah, you can get it at my link, the link in my bio. You can just sign up and you will get the workbook to your inbox like almost immediately, and it's fillable, so you can type in it. You don't have to necessarily print it out. It's awesome. But yeah, awesome sauce. So we are now on to help me count. 4. We are on to number 4. All right. So number 4, the fourth way that lack of confidence is killing your business is you don't sound like you. Like you don't sound like you. You don't sound like you, and I'm even gonna push this further and say you don't even look like you sometimes. Okay, so why do we do it? Like, why do we do it? Why do we put on these false airs and the professional voice? Like, this is my professional voice, and this is how I'm going to talk to you for the rest of this section. I'm going to attempt my very best to talk to you this way for the rest of the section. I'm going to speak to you this way for the rest of the section, and I want you to let me know what you think. All right? So, why do we put on our false ears and we speak the way that we speak? Like, why do we do the things that we do? Why do we do that? We do that because, number 1, I hope you're taking notes in your workbook. I hope you're taking notes. You can type this in. Number one, we have the misconception that we have to sound a certain way in order to attract the clients that we want and be successful in our business. Did you get that? I'm going to repeat it for you. Number 1, we have the misconception that we have to sound a certain way in order to attract the clients that we want and to be successful in our business. Give me some hearts if you are actually paying attention to me and if you can hear what I'm saying. Is my professional voice clear enough for you to understand me? Let me know. Number 2, we do it because we feel as though we have to be professional, and the best way to be professional is to sound professional. That is why we do it. That is the second reason why we may put on false ears and put on our professional voice, because we feel as though we have to sound professional in order to be professional. Number 3, we do not know, or we are not clear on how awesome we are. We are not clear on how awesome we are. And that is why we take the time, we put on false airs, and we pretend to be somebody that we're not. And the same way that I'm messing up my words and mispronouncing my words is the same thing that happens when you pretend to be somebody that you're not and you speak in a voice that is not your voice, because your brain is subconsciously telling you this is not who you are. I'm rebelling against your thoughts attitudes. I'm rebelling against your false airs. I'm rebelling against this fakeness that you're putting out there. And that is what happens when you pretend to be something that you're not. Okay, so that is why we do it. We covered why we do it, and now we're going to get into what it looks like. And it kind of looks like this. It looks like you're constantly censoring yourself, and you constantly have to speak with your hands, or you have to constantly think and overthink what you're saying. Like, you're constantly censoring yourself in both your written and spoken word, because you have to get it right all the time. Because if you don't get it right all the time, then people will know that it's not authentic. And that is a no-no. That is not what we want, okay? So it looks like you're constantly censoring yourself in order to keep up the charade. It also looks like you always have to make sure that what you put out there sounds hip and trendy and and what is going on or what is popular now. It always has to sound popular or sound in, quote unquote. It also looks like your written style changes as the trends change. As the trends change online, as the speech patterns or the colloquialisms or what is the word I'm looking for? As the trendy stuff passes. I slipped out of my voice. As the trendy phrases change, so does your written style. Okay? Because you have to keep up with what is happening elsewhere. This professional voice is getting very tiring. I'm just letting y'all know. I could not do this. Okay. What it looks like. Wait, that was what it looks like. So what it feels like on the inside. It feels like, number one, you're constantly hassled and overtaxed because you're trying to keep up with what is trending. You're trying to keep up with what is trending and with that persona that you have put out there already. And it also feels as though you are being inauthentic and restricting yourself because you're always censoring yourself to keep up the persona that you put up. And that is very true because I feel very restricted right now and I feel very inauthentic right now, but I'm trying to get through this section I don't even know why I'm doing it anymore. I think I'm proving a point. I'm not certain. And I'm switching into the English accent now. I don't even know what's happening to my voice. But yes, like that is what happens when you don't sound like you. Like that's what happens when you put on this voice, when you put on the falseness, when you put on the falseness and the fakeness and you try to pretend to be something that you're not. That is what happens. You sound crazy. You look a little bit ridiculous, and people like know, like in their gut, that that's not you. Like they know that. And then one day when it drops, and you're in front of the camera, and then people see that, you're like, they're gonna be like, did she say that? Is that her? Like, are we having a moment? Like, is Periscope glitching again? Like, is that what's happening? But don't do it. Like, that's, yes. Okay. The next section. Yes, okay, so not sticking to an audience. That is I think this is number 5. I did not number my notes, which was not a very good idea. But number 5, I think, is not sticking to an audience. Like, that's the 5th way that a lack of confidence is going to show up in your business. Like, when you say that you're going to serve somebody, but you end up serving somebody else, or you relaunch every couple of months. Hint, hint, I did that. You relaunch every couple of months because you want to serve a different set of people with a different set of needs. Yeah. That's what it looks like a little bit. That is what I mean by never choosing an audience. When you pick an audience and then you switch a couple of months later for whatever reason. So why do we do that? Like, why does that happen? Number one, because we feel as though we shouldn't have to exclude anybody. Like, we don't want to exclude anybody. We don't want to step on any toes. We don't want to make anybody feel left out, or like we don't care about them. Like, we just don't want to exclude anyone. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is we're not clear on who we serve and the value that we provide to them, which is the real reason behind not choosing an audience, because you're not clear on who you're serving, who is the person that you were created to like impact. Like, we're not clear on that stuff, and because we're not clear, we just hop all over the place, just over and over and over. And number 3, I hope you guys are taking notes. Number 3 is because we're not clear on how our expertise and experience can really be used to make an impact. That was kind of long, so I had to read it off the screen. But we're not clear on how our expertise and experience can really be used to impact their lives. At least the lives of our audience. And so because of that, we kind of have this solution. We feel as though we should be doing this. And so I feel as though I need to help these people because this idea that I have kind of fits with these people. And then a couple of months later, you get tired of it, or it's not working, or it's too hard or something, and you feel like, you know what? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be helping people with cats to have cat babies or something. I don't know. So that is what I'm going to do. And then you get tired of cat babies, and then another couple of months, you're like, you know what? I'm supposed to be working with turtles. That is what I'm supposed to do. That is what God put me on this planet to do. I'm supposed to work with the turtles and help improve the turtle population. That is what I'm supposed to be doing. In the next couple of months, you think you need to be working with horses. Like, that's what happens when you're not clear. And I just gave you really a couple of good ideas of what it looks like. You're just switching over and over. But a couple of other ones. It looks like you say one thing and you do something else. So even though you're helping the cat people with their cat babies, you're also helping out people with dogs who want to have like show-stopping dogs for the dog shows or whatever. So you say one thing, but you're also doing something else. So you serve, another one is that you serve your audience. Like, you are serving your audience and you are doing it. Like, you are doing your thing. However, you are also serving everybody else's audience. You're serving her audience and his audience and those people's audience, and you just serve everybody. Because you feel as though you can help everybody. Like, that's just what you do. When, like, as a graphic designer, and I fell into this trap, like, when the first couple of years that I ran my graphic design service, like, I just wanted to serve everybody. I was doing ebooks, graphic design, and like Facebook banner design, and Facebook banners and images. And then I was also doing like print design, so like business cards and print book covers and flyers, and like I just was doing everything, and it was driving me crazy. It was. So like that's another thing that it looks like in your business, like when you just serve, like you serve everybody's audience. It also looks like you're never making sales offers, like the offers. You never actually make the sales offers, or if you make the offers, you're not making very much money from them. It also looks like you have a product or a service or a freebie, like you got something for everybody. Like, you got something for everybody. And I mean everybody. That's what it looks like. So what it feels like, you kind of feel like a kid in a candy store. Either you are so excited, I am so excited to do all the things, or I'm just overwhelmed. Like, this is just a little bit too much. I'm gonna get pissed off in a minute. I need y'all to take me out the shop before I have a problem and start breaking things. This is just a little bit too much. Or maybe I'm the only person who wants to break things in the candy store when I get overwhelmed, which is why I don't go in the candy store. I literally just buy my chocolate, or I send somebody to get my candy. I don't do the thing. But like, either you are very excited, you're like all over the place, like I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have so much fun doing all the things, or you just get like really overwhelmed, like you are completely overwhelmed. All right. And it also feels like you want other people to sell less. Like you're just like, I need you to sell less. Like, I need you to stop doing the webinars and to stop doing all the other things you're doing, because I need to have some money. Okay. So I need to release my one product, and then when I release my one product and I get some sales, then you can go back to having your stuff. Like, that's what it feels like. Like, you just want everybody else to stop so you can get your foot in the door. And it also feels like you never show what you should be creating. Like, you're never sure what you should be creating. Like, what should I be doing right now? Like, what am I doing? Should I be doing this? Should I be working with these people? Should I focus on the cats? Should I focus on the dogs? Should I focus on the horses? Maybe I should do something with the turtles. Like, you're never sure what you should be doing. And that's because it's a lack of clarity. I'm not going to go further into that. But that was number 5. And like I told you guys, like, this was me. Like, this was me for at least the first 3 years of my business. At least. I was just all over the place. Yeah. So that was number 5. That was number 5. So we're gonna go on to number 6. Okay, number 6. Okay, so number 6 is like you never choose an audience ever, like ever. So that means in your business, you don't have an audience. When people ask you who you serve people who need graphic design. Like that is your audience. Like everybody is your audience because at some point in time, everybody's gonna need graphic design. So I'm just gonna do everything. Everything. That is my audience. And why do we do that? Like, why do we not pick an audience? Like, even though it seems to be like almost common knowledge or common wisdom to like when you start a business, like you want an audience, like you want to know who you're serving and you want to know that person like really well. But we sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we're like, you know what? I just don't want an audience. Like I know who I serve. I serve everybody. Like that's what I do. I serve everyone. So some reasons why we would do that. Okay. Because we think that we can serve everybody. Like, I know I can serve everybody. Like, I sell lotion. Everybody needs lotion. I don't care who you are. You need lotion. So I'm going to serve everybody. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell lotion to everybody. And we don't think niching down makes sense. Like, why would I only select a few people to sell lotion to? Like, does not everybody have skin? Like, does not everybody need to be moisturized? Everybody needs to be moisturized. I'm just going to sell to everybody because that niching down stuff, that does not work. It does not. It is not necessary. It doesn't make sense. How about y'all? Y'all do the niching down thing and I'm just going to sell my lotion to everybody. Okay? Yes? Okay. And another reason that we do it because we're not clear. We're not clear on the value of niching down. We're not clear on who our lotion is best is best made for or who would benefit most from our lotion. Like we're just not clear on any of that stuff. So those are our 3 reasons. We think we can serve everybody. We don't think niche down makes sense, and we're just not clear on the value of our service and the value that it's going to bring to other people's lives. Okay, so what does that look like? Okay, what does that look like? It looks like you have products for everybody with a cat. Like everybody with a cat is going to get this hairbrush because it's for everybody with a cat. It's specifically for people with cats. Like that's what it's for. And everybody who has a cat is a person who needs to have this brush. Like that's just it. That base is really broad and it contains too much info. Like the product that you have for everybody with a cat is just too much info. It's too broad. It's too non-specific to actually be useful. It also looks like you have really generic language and copy, and that can be on your website, on your social media graphics, on your flyers, on your everything, on your products themselves. Like everything is really generic and bland, and it doesn't really appeal to anybody one way or another. You also may get a lot of traffic, especially if it's online. So you may get a lot of traffic and a lot of interest in your product or your website or just your business in general, but you get very little actual engagement or actual, well, I just have actual engagement. Like you get very little actual engagement. So that may look like you have a lot of questions, when I'm jumping ahead of myself, but you have a lot of questions about your product or service, but nobody's actually enthused about it. You have very little sales, that sort of thing. You have very little engagement. And my last note is the engagement that you do have is usually centered around clearing up who you serve and what you do. So what does all that feel like? It feels annoyed. There's a lot of annoyance in this section, okay? There's a lot of annoyance. It feels annoyed that no one is taking advantage of all the knowledge and all the info that you put together. Like, nobody is taking advantage of this stuff. Like, nobody's taking advantage of the awesome thing that you put together that can serve everybody. It also looks like you're annoyed. Well, it feels like, it feels like you're annoyed at the questions people ask you. Like, you're annoyed at the questions people ask you because it's like, is my information not clear enough? Like, did I not say everybody with a cat? No? Okay. You're also annoyed at the lack, of actual traction your brand is getting. And you're annoyed at the success. You're annoyed at the success of other people who do less. Just other people who do less than you. Like, she literally is only, she has a book about people for Siamese cats. She's only catering to Siamese cats. Like, I have an encyclopedia on all the cats ever created in existence that ever walked the face of this earth and that are now household cats. Like, I have all the information ever, and she has like this 20-page book on Siamese cats, and she's like making millions of dollars. Like, what the hell? Like, that's the kind of headspace that you kind of get into when you're feeling all this annoyance. Yeah, and so that's what happens when you don't choose an audience, when you choose not to niche down and just attempt to serve everybody with your one thing. Your cat encyclopedia does not get sold because nobody's interested in the cat encyclopedia. I'm sorry, we are very much about convenience and relevant information that solves problems. And so your lotion doesn't get sold because you can't tell me who this lotion is for. Like, it's just for everybody. Like, what if I have sensitive skin? Like, what if I'm allergic to a particular kind of oil you have in your lotion? Do you, like, what if? What if? Like, because you have not clarified your audience, you have all these annoyance and stuff, and that's really a result of lack of confidence because you're not sure on who you can best serve. That is the word I'm going for. Like, who you can best serve and what is the value of your product or your solution to those people. That is what I was going to say. Okay, so that was 6. I think we're on number 7. Okay. So number 7 is devaluing yourself and your expertise. Okay, so this is the 7th way that a lack of confidence is going to show up in your business. It's going to cause you to devalue yourself and like feel as though you're not good enough and all that other stuff. And it's going to cause you to devalue your expertise. Like, this isn't really that helpful, so I really shouldn't be doing it. So why do we do that? Like, why do we devalue ourselves and why do we devalue our expertise? Like, why do we do that thing? It's crazy. Why do we do that? Couple of reasons. And I hope you guys are taking notes in your workbook. It's awesome. Yeah, so we don't really understand. Let me zoom in. I don't know, I apparently have old people eyes tonight. Yeah, so we don't really understand what the purpose of life is. I know what it is. So we don't really understand what the purpose of life is. Okay, I'm going to tell you. The purpose of your life is to serve others. If you are not serving others in your life, it's going to suck. You're going to be miserable and depressed because that's what the purpose of life is. I think that's what it is. If your entire life is geared towards just what you want and what you can do and just to serve you, it's gonna suck, basically. So, yeah, so we don't really understand what the purpose of life is, and so we kind of just devalue our expertise because we don't really understand that the things that we have gone through are we have them, and we can use those experiences to impact the lives of others because we have gone through them. So that was number 1. And number 2 is we don't really think our experiences are as valid as qualifications for whatever reason, which is also a lack of confidence. Which is, what am I talking about for whatever reason? But yeah, we don't think that our experiences are as valid as qualifications. Number 3 is we never think we know enough to make an impact, or we never really take the time to figure out how we can make an impact with what we know. Number 4 is we're constantly thinking that we're not good enough to help anybody. And number 5, the 5th one and the last one, is we're constantly thinking somebody with our past doesn't have what it takes or shouldn't be trying to do this thing that you're trying to do for whatever reason. Why do I keep saying for whatever reason? Oh my gosh, brain, could you work with me? Could you work with me today? So I'm going to go over those 5 reasons again so you guys can get them. So number 1 is we don't really understand what the purpose of life is, which is to serve others. That is the purpose of life. It is to serve others. Number 2 is we don't think our experiences are as valid as our qualifications. Number 3 is we never think we know enough to make an impact. We never think we know enough to make an impact in other people's lives, or we don't really know how we can make an impact with what we know. So number 4 is we're constantly thinking that we're not good enough to help anybody. And number 5 is that we're constantly thinking that somebody with our past doesn't have what it takes, or we just shouldn't be trying to do what we're trying to do, basically. So what does that look like? What does that look like in like your everyday life? Okay, so number one, it looks like you never really officially launch your business. You may do some of it for whatever. You may work in your business for a while, or you may start the launching process, or at least putting together your business assets, like your freebie or your social media profiles and this, that, and the other thing, but you never actually launch. You never actually start working in your business. So that's number one. That's the first thing. That's the first way that it looks, that devaluing yourself and your expertise looks. Okay. So it also looks like you seek advice. That's funny. You seek advice from every shaman in the world and their uncle. Like, you seek advice from everybody. Everybody and their grandmothers and their grandmothers left toe. Like, you seek advice from everybody. And don't tell me you didn't, because I know I did. So don't say it's not you, because I know it is. So that's number two. Number three is you end up trying to make yourself seem like you are more than you are. Like, you try and expound or exaggerate on either your experiences or on your qualifications, and try and like smoosh them in a way that makes them seem more official or more beneficial than they actually are. Where am I? Oh, it also looks like you restrict yourself to an area you know is possible, and by area I meant niche. So you restrict yourself to a niche that you know is popular, and that people understand and they get right off the bat, instead of doing something maybe different and unique that people would sort of kind of not really understand right off the bat. You restrict yourself to an area or a niche in business that you know people know, like they know what this is, they get it, and I can run with that. I can hit the ground running with that, which is what I did when I launched as a branding consultant. Like the 3 times that I did it, I was like, nobody's gonna get what vision coaching is. I can't do this. Oh my gosh. And so I didn't do vision coaching until now. But like, yeah, branding is a part of it. It's a big part of vision coaching, but it's not itself in its entirety. And that's a trap that we can tend to fall into, where we restrict ourselves to an area that we know is popular and that people can understand, and we can hit the ground running and actually move forward in it. And the last reason, or the last way it looks, it looks like we subconsciously try to push clients into transformations that they did not sign up for. So like when I was branding people, their businesses, like I would spend like more than necessary on trying to figure out, like, what's your vision? Like, what is your vision for this business? Like, what is your vision? Scratch this business. So, like, what is your vision for this life, for your life? What is your vision for your life? Like, how does this business fit into your vision for your life? And like, how are you gonna move up from here? That sort of thing. And I had people who, like, they did not sign up for that, and they were not interested in it. And they were not interested in all of that stuff. Like, they were just like, you know what, that's a bit too much. I really just wanted help with my branding for this business or for this blog. Like, all of this other stuff is just not what I wanted. It's just not what I wanted. And yeah, that's because you don't have confidence in doing the thing that you actually know you should be doing. So you subconsciously try and push clients into the transformation that you know you should be working in, sort of. But they didn't sign up for that. Like, they're not here for that. They did not sign up for that. So that's what it looks like. So I'm going to tell you guys what it feels like. It feels like you're incomplete. Like you're incomplete, or your life is incomplete. Like, something is incomplete, and it's like this gnawing feeling in the pit of your stomach. This gnawing feeling in the pit of your stomach that you're supposed to be doing more. That's number 2. Number 3 is you feel like a little bit jealous when you see other people either living in their purpose or other people doing the thing that you know you should be doing. Like, why are they so happy? Like, can you go be happy someplace else? Like, could you not do the thing that I'm supposed to be doing in front of me? Like, I'd appreciate it. You just like go over there far. Yeah, that kind of way. Like you feel there's a little bit of jealousy. There's at least a little bit of jealousy. It also feels like you're just dissatisfied with the work that you're actually doing. Like you're just dissatisfied. And it feels frustrated because your clients are not your dream clients. The clients that you have and the people that you're working with and even your potential clients, like they're not your dream clients. They may be close. They may be so close. But no. Just no. And that's frustrating. That is frustrating. And in case you did not know, in case you couldn't pick up on the like hints, that's me. That was me. Like that was all of my experience just now. I just gave you all of that experience. And that's why I know what these things feel like, because I've heard people talk about them and I've experienced a number of them, most of them myself. So what I have not gotten from other people, I've gotten from my own life and business experience. And I can tell you, this stuff does not feel good. It doesn't. But yeah, that was number 7. And we're going to continue before I get sidetracked and go on a spiel, because y'all know I am good for it. So number 8. Lack of confidence shows up in your business in that it causes you to just consume all the content. Like you are consuming all the content ever. All of it. Like all of it. We touched on it a little bit earlier when we were talking about how you have to have like one eye on what everybody else is doing and another eye on your stuff, like when you're busy. But like we just consume all the content. And a couple of reasons why we do that. So we already talked about number 1, which is checking out the competition. Like we always feel as though we have to check out the competition. Like I just need to know what she's doing so I could see. I just need to see. I don't necessarily want to copy her. I just need to see. I don't really want to learn what she's talking about. I just need to see what she's doing. I just need to see. I just need to see. We also think that we have to know or we have to learn more. Like we never feel prepared. Like I just need to know some more stuff. I need to learn some more stuff before I launch, before I do this product. I just need to know more. I just need to know more. Okay. Number 3, we also do it because we never feel ready. And we never feel ready because we just feel like we need to know more. So number 3 is you never feel ready. Number 4 is we're just looking for a secret of success. We're just looking for this like one magic bullet, this one golden key to success, so that we can like hit the ground running and actually be sure of our success. So we're like, I have not found it yet in all the stuff that I've consumed, so I have to keep reading stuff and reading blog posts and watching videos and watching webinars and periscopes. Like I just have to keep consuming stuff until I find it. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. That reason number 4. And number 5 is because we subconsciously never give ourselves permission to actually step out and do what's necessary. Like we never give ourselves permission to like fail. We never give ourselves permission to start. Like subconsciously, like we think we do, but like subconsciously in the back of our head, we hold on to this fear or this uncertainty, and then we're like, I can't launch yet, or I can't do this thing yet because I'm going to fail. Or so we never give ourselves permission to fail. We never give ourselves permission to start. We never give ourselves permission to do any of that stuff. We just don't. And yeah. So what it looks like, that's the next section. I know I was going to get to it sooner or later. What does it look like? It looks like, number 1, you sign up for every free webinar ever. Like, ever. Number 2, it looks like you are purchasing every product related to every itch you have in your business ever. It looks like you're reading all the blog posts ever. Like you have this list, or you have this like list in your bookmarks, or this like just one particular web browser window that has all the tabs of all the blog posts that you need to read. Like it's all in there, and there's like 1 million tabs in this one browser. Like that's what it looks like when you have all the blog posts ever to read. Okay, yeah. So it looks like you have like secret Pinterest boards, like not the ones that you show to everybody else, but you have like secret Pinterest boards of all the things you need to read and all the things you need to implement. Like you have just a ton of them, a ton. And you have lists upon lists upon lists of tips and tricks and cheats and all the other things that are supposedly going to help you to get ahead. Like you have just 100 of them, like hundreds of them. And it also looks like absolutely no work, no real work, no progress is getting done at all. Like no work is getting done because you're always consuming content. Like nothing is being created, nothing is being scheduled, nothing is being put out there. Like no actual work is getting done because you're always consuming content. That's what it looks like. Okay, so what does it feel like? What does it feel like? It feels, if you think it feels good, it doesn't. It doesn't. It feels like you're constantly behind the 8 ball. Like you constantly have all these things to do, all these things to read, all these things to like just consume. Like it's just like stress. And it takes up so much headspace. Like you just have all these things to do, like all the things. It also feels like you're never going to have success because the list of things that you have to do is just like enormous. Like I'm never going to actually get my business up and running because I have all these thousands of things to do. Like that is what it feels like. That is what it feels like. It also feels like some days you should just give up. Like I have all these things to do and all these things are not going right and this, that, and the other thing. Like I should just give up. I should just give up because evidently this was not for me. Evidently this was just a little bit too much. I don't see nobody else doing this kind of struggling. So evidently I just need to give up because this was just a wrong decision. I just need to give up because this is wrong. This is just wrong. It also feels jealous of other people who seem to be having more success or seem to be successful and don't have that stress. It feels frustrated and annoyed. So all of that good stuff. Told you, doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all. Yeah, so another short story, another confession. That was also me. That was also me. Like I was just so stressed out and annoyed and frustrated and pissed at people because I'm like, why is that working for you? Like, why? Like, I'm smiling at you, but why is that working for you? I want to punch you in the face. Like, why? Don't smile at me. I'm very annoyed with you right now. Don't do that. Don't. Yeah. But it was to the point where I had to go on a content fast. Like legit, I had to go on a content fast because I was just consuming all of the content. I was just taking in all of the things and doing all of the stuff. Like it was horrible. It was horrible. And you may feel as though this is also you. Like you may be saying, she talking to me. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Should I ease out of the scope? Like, should I just stop the replay? Like, should I do that? I think I should do that. But yeah. So, like, when I say that this is something that you can overcome and, like, you can actually get over it and you can actually fix these things, I know what I'm talking about, girl. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that was enough. That was enough of me. That was enough of me. What number is this? Is this number 9? It is number 9. Wait. It is number 9. Okay, so we're moving through these actually really quickly. Okay, so sorry. Number 9. Did I move it? Okay, here we go. Never releasing anything, and if you release it, then you don't promote it. We touched on this earlier, but this is actually its own specific point. So why do we never release anything? Like, why do we do that? Number 1 is because we don't have any confidence in the thing that we released, that we created. Like, if we create something and we don't release it, like, the first reason is because we don't have any confidence in that thing. We don't have any confidence in it to help our brand. We don't have any confidence in it to actually impact the lives of anybody else out there. Like, we have no confidence in that thing. None. Like, none. Number two is we are worried about it being perfect. Like we are just so worried about it being perfect that we're not gonna do anything else. Like, I just need this thing to be perfect. And until it's perfect, I'm not gonna release it. I'm just not. We also worry about what others in our space is gonna say. And this is especially true if you spend a lot of time consuming content from other people in your space. You're like, does this sound like her content? Does it? I don't think I should release it. I'm not entirely sure if it sounds like her content or not, so I'm not gonna release it. I'm just gonna sit it here on my hard drive for like the next 12 months and maybe release it. Maybe do it then. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. We are also not sure how to promote it. So that's one of the reasons. And that's pretty valid. Like, we're not sure how to do the promotion, so we don't do it. And the last reason is because we're not creating nothing to begin with. Like, chances are we just too busy consuming content to create anything. I was in that boat. I was there. That may be where you are. Yeah, that it just may be. So if you're watching this replay and that is where you are, like, if any of those sound familiar, give me some hearts. I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna look around. But, like, if that's you, that sounds like you, if any of those things sound familiar, I need you to give me some hearts. Okay? Good. Awesome. Okay. So, that was why we do it like that. Those are the reasons why we do these things. But now I'm going to tell you guys what it looks like. Okay, so it looks like you have this product file on your hard drive that is full of ideas of things that are either in your niche or like not in your niche, or that you just have no desire to create. Like, they could be in your niche. They could be even like helpful to your audience, but like, you're just like, I do not want to create that. Like, that does not fill me with joy. That does not fill me with excitement. Like, I'm just not on that run. I am not here for that. I'm just not. Like, no. So that's the first thing that it looks like. It also looks like you have all sorts of PDF files and workshops and recorded events and all these things that you did create, and they're all saved to your hard drive. Why is my glasses making my nose itch? Yeah, but they're all saved to your hard drive. Because you created them and then you didn't promote them. Like, they're just sitting there, taking up space in your hard drive. They don't gather dust. Gathering electronic dust. Okay, so that's number two. Number three is it looks like a empty bank account and a full hard drive. That's not a good picture. And it also looks like you have like this full shop on your website, and your services page is like all designed and pretty, and it has like, it actually outlines what are the services that you do, but you have absolutely no promotion to them. Like, none. Like, you're not putting them on social media, you're not doing ads, you're not doing anything. Like, nothing. That's what it looks like. Yeah, so what does it feel like? It feels like frustration. Like, I have that in caps. I have that in like all caps, so I had to say it like that, but it looks like frustration. And then you're irritated. You're like irritated at everything. You're irritated at everything because you're like, what? The bleeding out. Like, what? Yeah, that's that irritation. It also feels like you're like just despondent. Like, some days you get really sad, and so there's like this despair and despondence and like depression when dealing with your business. Like, that's also something that it would feel like. It also feels like you want to give up. Like, you just want to give up. I just want to throw in a towel. I just want to fling this business to the deepest piece of the center of the earth and let it explode in like lava. I just want to give up. And it also feels like you just want somebody, can anybody find me? I just jumped between keys just now. But anyway, you just want somebody to help you. You just want somebody, anybody to help you. That's what it feels like. Like, that's what it feels like. And it sucks. Like, that when you get to that headspace and it's just like, your brain is just gonna explode, because you just don't know what to do. Like, for whatever reason, like you have these ideas, and maybe some of them are good ideas, but like, my business is not working and I don't know why. And what's happening in reality is you just don't have a lot of clarity. You're not clear on what you should be doing and the things that should be bringing you value, and you're not doing the things that bring you joy because you're not exactly clear on what those things are. Like, it's just a lack of clarity. That lack of confidence is actually a lack of clarity. And we are at number 10. We're at number 10. We're at number 10. At number 10. Ooh. Okay. That was my singing. I'm done for. That's all the singing you can get out of me. Okay, that's all. I can't promise that. But number 10, the 10th way that a lack of confidence is showing up in your business and killing your business is. Are you ready for this one? Are you ready? It looks like you're comparing yourself to others around you. Yeah. It looks like you're comparing yourself to others around you, and like often it's not even others ahead of you. Like, it's not even a lot of times people who are way ahead of you. A lot of times it's people who are like right where you are, or like a couple of steps ahead, and you're like, why does she have that success? Like, what is she doing? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is she doing right? What am I doing wrong? Like, why can't I get what she's having? Like, all that comparison stuff. So yeah, why do we do it? Why do we do the things? Like, why do we do that? Number one, because we do, or at least we have, what I like to call the grass is greener syndrome, where we feel as though everything on that person's business or in that person's business is perfect, and evidently it's perfect, and that is how they get the success that they want, like, because that's just what we do. That's just how our brain thinks. Like, they have a success, everything in their business must be perfect. Like, they must have a system out of this world, and they must like have all kind of crosses and onions and garlics and stuff to just ward off all of the mishap vampires and like everything. Like, they just live in utopia, and that is why they're successful. Like, so that's number one. We just have this feeling that the grass is greener on their side of the fence. Number two, we're just looking for ideas and validation. Like, a lot of times we just want validated. We just want somebody to say, this is a great idea and you should run with it. Basically, like, a lot of times that's just what it is. Like, this is a great idea. You should run with this. Oh my gosh, why have you not put a price tag on this and put this all over Twitter? Like, you should run with this. A lot of times we're just looking for that validation. Number three is we're not clear on what we're supposed to be doing. So we're looking for these ideas and validation that our ideas are good ideas, because we're not sure what we're supposed to be doing. We don't know who we're supposed to be helping. Like, we're just not sure. There's so much unclarity, which is not actually a real word, but what I'm going to call it today. With just so much unclarity in all of the stuff in our business, and so we just want that validation. We're just not clear. Number four is we're judging their middle by our beginning, which is a common practice. Common. It's not a good thing, but it's common. Number five is we're just not clear on our purpose, on our personal purpose, and on the value that we provide to other people. We're just not clear on it. And that is the why of why we compare ourselves to others around us too. Okay, so what it looks like. And we're going to talk about what it looks like, okay? So it looks like you are signing up for people's webinars and content, not to learn from them, but literally just to see what they're doing. So you have something to compare yourself on. Okay, so she's doing this amount of slides. I need to do this amount of slides. She's breaking down her content this kind of way. I need to break it down this way because evidently her system is working, so I need to follow her system. That's what it looks like. It also looks like you're constantly telling yourself that your content isn't as good as theirs, so it's not good enough. Like, I can't release this because she had I copied and pasted her blog post and I put it into a word count, the wordcounttool.com, and she came up with 3,200 words. I need to have at least 3,300 words. And because I don't have anything else and I don't know what else to put in this content, I'm going to save this and leave it for another day until I have some other things to put in this, because I'm not releasing this until this is more worse than she is. More worse than she has. Like, because my content is not as good as her content, I'm not releasing my content. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care how long I go without releasing a blog post. I'm not going to do it. That's the headspace we get into. That's what it looks like when we compare ourselves to other people. And you're constantly thinking like, but they did that. Like, but they. So, I could have a workshop, but they just did a workshop. I could have a workshop on branding, or I can do a webinar on this, but they just did a webinar on this. Or I could just host a series of Periscopes, but she just did a Periscope series, and so she may think that I'm copying her. That's the kind of headspace we go into. Like, we're comparing ourselves to other people so much that we get into the headspace of thinking that everybody else is like looking at us to see what we're doing. And that's simply not true. Okay? So that's what it looks like. And let me tell you what it feels like. It feels like you constantly make yourself feel inferior. Like, you just feel inferior. It also feels like you're not good enough. And you always feel hassled and flustered and frustrated, because it's just like you never add up to everybody else, or you're always trying to measure up to everybody else, and it's frustrating. It just is. And that's what it feels like. That is what it feels like. And guys, we are done with the 10 ways that a lack of confidence kills your business. We're done with it. We're done. We're done. So here's what I think is going to happen, because this actually turned out into a longer scope than I thought it would have been. So darlings, my darlings, I think we're going to cut the scope tonight. Today is what? Wednesday, so we've got, I can scope tomorrow morning. I can do why pretending and devaluing yourself is toxic. I can do that tomorrow morning, in my morning scope. And I can also do the 3 ways the second guessing and releasing content is hurting your brand. I can do both of those tomorrow. Can I? I can do one in the morning and another one at 12. Because I won't be able to scope tomorrow evening, because I have choir practice. So I can do that tomorrow, or I can do one that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to break those up over the weekend. I think that's what we're going to do. I think so. Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching my scope. Thank you for giving me the hearts. And for getting your workbook. So, you want to keep your workbook, because we're going to use that straight through till Sunday. Okay? So, keep your workbook. We're going to use it straight through till Sunday, because all of these other sections have a part in that workbook, as you can already see. And it's going to be awesome, and you're going to learn so much stuff, okay? So, in the meantime, you have an activity that is on... The page is... Is that... Okay, so this is page 8. You have an activity on page 8 that is the how confident are you scale. So it says, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to grade your confidence. Look at that spelling error. Just look at it. In the following areas. Knowing where your confidence is weak is a perfect step in restoring that confidence, so you can go ahead and build the business that God laid on your heart and not the one you settled for. And this is for you if you are a kingdom woman or not. It doesn't matter at this point. Confidence is killing stuff in your business, and I'm going to need you to go through this exercise and see where it is. Where's the issue? Where's the issue and what you need to fix? Okay? So, do this exercise, and we will talk about this homework tomorrow. Okay? 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 Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay, so, a reminder to you guys who may not yet have gotten your workbook. If you want to get me to give you the link again, it's bit.ly, that's bit.ly /SCOPINARS, Scopinars. And you can sign up there, and you will get the workbook straight to your inbox, and then you can start on this homework. and you may be able to like glean some stuff for the next sections. But I will see you guys in the morning for why pretending to be somebody else and devaluing your content is toxic behavior, or devaluing yourself is toxic behavior. Okay? 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 Okay. It's fun. Da-na-na-na-na. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this was of some value to you. If it was, share the scope before the 24 hours is up. I mean, I think I'm going to leave this up on catch for like a good minute. But share the scope if it was of value to you. Let people know. And I will see you guys in the morning. Tomorrow, yeah. For the why pretending to be somebody else and devaluing yourself is toxic behavior. And we're going to get into that. Okay? So I will see you guys in the morning. Bye! Bye! Okay.